All right. Well, welcome everyone to today's Process Mining Academy session. As most of you probably know, AI is everywhere these days, and part of most of the conversations that we're all having, right? So we on our team are often asked, like, how does process mining or how does process intelligence support AI initiatives? So we figured we'd do a session on that here today. I mean, it's a critical part of every organization's AI journey. In fact, there was some industry activity this week that further validated that message and the importance of having process intelligence baked into your strategic AI platforms. What we'll do today is we'll cover two topics: how AI is used to improve the experience for someone doing process analysis, but probably more importantly, how process intelligence solutions support any AI initiative, whether you're just starting out or maybe you're a little bit further along. So just a few logistics. These sessions do get recorded and are typically posted to the community site about a week after the live session. The slides also get posted as well. During the session, as you have questions, please post them in the Q&A. We'll get to them, answering them live towards the end, but I do have some teammates here that will address them during the session as well. Don't wait to post them though. Like, as soon as you think of them, get them in there, please. It's just better for the recording to not break the flow during the content up front. This is the slide that says, hey, anything we say and do here today can't be held against us in the court of law. It's also the slide that says, as part of these conversations, if we make any forward-looking statements about things that might be coming on the platform in future releases, you should take them as such and make no decisions based on them whatsoever, because things are always subject to change. And I know for a fact that I will be sharing some stuff that's not yet out there for you, but is on the horizon, very close horizon today. So remember this slide. Who are we? Just like the attendance in these sessions has grown rapidly over the last couple of years, so has the team. I've got a number of teammates here with me today: Robert, Raz, Bilal. They'll be helping answer your questions, but there's others that typically join and help answer questions as well. They're all listed on this slide here. So from an agenda standpoint, what we'll do, we always do that quick little process mining 101 for our newcomers that have stumbled upon us for the first time and might not be familiar with what process mining is. We'll talk then about how process intelligence supports your AI initiatives. And then we'll jump into a demonstration. I'll show you a lot of the content that I have in the slides as in live demos, best I can. Some of that stuff is new, so I don't necessarily have all the best demo data to support some of these things, but at least you'll get to see that it's not a figment of our imagination. We'll get your questions answered, and then we'll kind of wrap up with some additional resources above and beyond today. Let's do it. All right. So as always, we start with the quick process mining 101 for our newcomers. So with everything we do, there's a designed and desired path in our minds for how it should work out or how things should play out, whether that be planning one of these academy sessions or a business process. And when we design things, we design for both completeness and efficiency to provide the best experience possible for as many people as possible. Now, unfortunately, what we design is not always what plays out in reality. The reality is, within our business processes, not all the work is going to be flowing through the optimal path. And that's going to have a negative impact on both the experience somebody requesting a service is having, as well as the people trying to deliver that service. The challenge is identifying what is actually happening within our processes. Like, that has not always been super easy for folks, and that makes improving them even harder. What process mining allows us to do is use the audit logs that are generated as records move through a given process to create a visual representation of what is actually happening within that process. And this new level of visibility is going to help us accelerate our abilities to identify inefficiencies, non-conformant process activities, and improvement opportunities. Process mining gives us the ability to answer process questions that have historically been very challenging to answer. So where traditional analytics has allowed us to answer a lot of the what questions about our processes, process mining helps us answer the why. So things like, where is the process getting stuck? Where is there any unnecessary rework happening? Where are there tickets, incidents, cases, ping-ponging or bouncing between groups or teams? Where aren't we conforming to what we've designed? All things that have historically been difficult to answer and act upon are now available to us in just a couple of clicks in the platform. And you'll see here today, we've made it even easier with a lot of the AI capabilities that we've added to the solution. We like to say process mining is going to get you to the why behind all of your KPIs. And in doing so, empower everyone involved in the process to make data-driven decisions about which improvements to make. All right, on to today's topic, AI and process intelligence. And as I mentioned at the top, I want to break this into two distinct sections. How AI can augment someone's experience while they use process mining, and then how process mining becomes a critical part of an organization's AI operation. We'll start with the prior. So there are a few Now Assist skills currently available to augment the experience someone has while using process mining and accelerate their ability to identify actionable process improvement opportunities. And there are even more on the way. This first one is work notes analysis. Now, work notes analysis is pretty amazing when you see it in action. It was initially released in with Xanadu, and in the Xanadu release, we enabled clustering of work notes around inefficient transitions or transfers. Like think of work transferring between assignment groups. Understanding why these transfer are occurring would involve digging into the work notes at the time of the transfer. What the clustering helped do was group the common transfer scenarios together. Since this is kind of a pretty cool feature, because since work notes and additional comments are journal fields, not strings, we had to do some extra magic to make this possible in the first place. And then in Yokohama, we took it one step further and we added a Now Assist skill to summarize those different clusters of work notes. It streamlined the process analysis even more than the clustering alone did. And if you think about it, process mining is great at highlighting inefficient process activities. What you do to address or fix those things is going to come from your understanding of what people or agents are actually doing at those steps. This capability gives us visibility into that information in a single click. The other thing I always like to point out here is this is one of those big benefits of being an in-platform process mining solution. Like your traditional approaches to process mining, where you'd extract data from a platform and move it into a special process mining solution, would not likely give you the access to this level of data and insight. It would just be too difficult and too expensive for them to do. So it's one of these really powerful features. That's also one of the things that's really hard to get anywhere but an in-platform solution like what we have here on the ServiceNow platform. Next, we have improvement opportunity highlights. So most of you know at this point that improvement opportunities are one of my favorite parts of the process mining solution, right? They jumpstart our analysis by identifying inefficiencies like rework, extra process steps, slow transitions, on and on and on. And on their own, these improvement opportunities are so powerful. Some people like to think they're AI based. They're not, but they're still awesome. And in Zurich, we introduced the skill that summarizes the highlights of any one of these detected improvement opportunities. Like ultimately, the goal here is to transform data into actionable guidance for quick, informed process improvement decisions by all stakeholders, whether they know how to use process mining or not. And these highlights start to make that more of a reality inside of organizations. The next AI-powered capability is playbook generation directly from the analyst workbench itself. So the ability to take process variants from the process mining workspace and then in a couple of clicks, turn them into playbooks that can be wired up to be executed by humans, AI agents, or both. This is useful for putting more structure around processes that may already be running on the platform, or for those situations where we ingest external process data and want to accelerate our ability to reimagine those processes on the platform. In many cases, we see this in support of app rationalization efforts at organizations. So these are the current ways that we've integrated AI into our process mining experience on the platform. And there's a number of additional enhancements underway that you'll start kind of seeing more and more AI within the process mining solution itself. Now, while these features are super powerful, It's even more critical, though, to understand how process intelligence fundamentally supports your broader AI initiatives at the organization. So, as organizations embark on their AI journey, like the path to effective, I would say, AI adoption is full of challenges, like identifying the right use cases, measuring the impact as we start to deploy these things, ensuring governance. And ServiceNow's process intelligence solutions, like process mining and task mining, can be powerful solutions to help as you embark on this journey. I'll just walk you through kind of a couple of places in which we think there's a value add and where we align pretty well. So there's a lot of concern about like AI agents taking human jobs, but hey, like these little AI agents, they've got families to feed too. Like, how do we find jobs or more technically appropriate tools for them? And process and task mining can help here. It's important to remember that these autonomous AI agents, they need tools to achieve their use cases. These tools could be now assist skills, classic machine learning techniques like task or document intelligence, subflows using spokes to update or retrieve information in other applications, scripts, automations, catalog items, or knowledge articles. Process mining can help identify where we have opportunities to create these tools or new tools for these AI agents. And how we do that is we can look for all the work that says that, let's say, takes longer than 2 minutes, or maybe less than 15 or 30 to move from an in progress to a resolved or a closed state. I mean, the logic there is this, right? If it takes less than 2 minutes to move between those two states, you've probably already automated it. Don't need to worry about it. But if something's taking longer than 2 minutes, but less than 15 or 30 to make that journey, guess what? Haven't automated it yet, but a human are doing a whole heck of a lot there. There's got to be some self-service, some automation opportunities, some integrations, some of those types of things in that subset of the work. And then we take those things and they become the tools that we give our AI agents. This approach helps us continually find the new tools that we need to give our agents moving forward as our organizations evolve over time. Now, deploying AI agents or now assist skills, it's only half the battle, right? Understanding their impact on the process is equally important. Process and task mining can play a key role as we deploy these agents and skills by giving us the visibility into any unexpected or adverse effects those things may be causing, so we can make the necessary adjustments. It also hopefully helps us see and understand the positive effects it's having on the business outcomes that we've set forth. This is the data we need to justify future investments in scaling and adopting. And what we do is we're able to say, use the comparison capability of process mining to say, on one side, show me all the work that closed prior to a process change or turning on analysis skill or rolling out an agent. And the other side, show me all the work that closed after we turned on that skill, made the change, or turned on that agent. And then we can start to see any of the positive or negative impacts of turning those things on. Now, as organizations scale out, these AI agents across different functions like your IT, customer support, HR, finance, sales, whatever it might be, just like with human run processes, the complexity of managing and monitoring and optimizing these systems increases. And there's going to be a shift in our worlds, right? From those more deterministic workflows where an AI agent might just be assisting a human at a certain step to more agentic systems where the entire use case could potentially be accomplished by a team of agents working together. And these multi-agent systems are all often called non-deterministic. And the more agents you add, the more non-deterministic things could potentially become. And process mining can become a powerful solution to help us get visibility to where the visibility we need to continuously, let's say, improve these agentic systems and help us start to answer questions like, where do bottlenecks occur in the agentic flow? Are the agents getting stuck anywhere or looping at certain parts of the process? And what are the root causes of maybe slow performing tools? Like maybe we have a tool that goes out there and gets similar incidents as part of an incident resolution agent that's there. If it's slowed down, why is it slow? Is there something that we can do to kind of tweak that tool to make it more performant? Maybe we can see where at what point of the process there's escalations happening to humans and why. Do we need to add more tools? Is there something missing? Um, so there's lots of different benefits to kind of or questions we can answer if we were to layer process mining on top of these agentic use cases. And the good news is we can. Just want to be clear. This is that, remember the safe harbor slide. This is a little bit forward looking. This is something we're planning to make available to customers in December. We're already doing this here at ServiceNow. In fact, our Now on Now team delivered a presentation at Knowledge this year, talking about kind of how we were doing this and some of the things that they found. And one of my favorite examples that they shared was that we have an agent or a tool that's certain. Actually, it's an agent, not a tool, using the right terminology. An agent that searches the knowledge base as part of different AI use cases. And if they see that agent is looping, it's a good indication that we don't have the knowledge article available to help assist with that use case, and they need to go create a knowledge article. Right? Always comes back to those agents having the tools they need to get things done on behalf of humans. So this is something, I'll show you a quick little demo of this, but it's something that's coming, but really important part as we start to roll out more and more agents in our organizations. Now, everything about AI is moving so fast and rapidly evolving, and organizations are balancing their desire and need to reap the benefits of the power, but they want to do it in a responsible way. And this is where ServiceNow's AI Control Tower, which is an enterprise-wide solution that helps ensure consistent governance and compliance across all these different AI systems, helps us mitigate any of the risks, and fast response, provides a little bit of a faster response to those regulatory inquiries that might be coming in, gives us the ability to measure AI's value. Right. As part of this, the AI Control Tower provides the workflows and the structure that AI governance teams need. And these workflows help us move new AI systems or use cases through the steps to get deployed in a responsible manner. Now, of course, we want ethical and responsible management of the entire AI lifecycle, but we'll also want to move these things through the process as efficiently as possible to start seeing the value, right? Leadership wants us to do things responsibly. They also want us to do things fast. We need to start seeing some benefit from all this AI stuff that we've been talking about. And process mining can be used to give us visibility into where we can further streamline these processes related to governing AI use cases. So those are just a couple of different places that we can align process intelligence to your AI journey. So the real question then becomes like, where are you on your AI journey? Just starting out? All right, process task mining can help. Already have a few agents deployed? Guess what? Process and task mining can help. Building towards those multi-agent systems? Process and task mining can help. So the point is, no matter where you are on that journey with AI, process and task mining are going to be able to help you every step of the way to better navigate and move forward efficiently, effectively, with more confidence than you would without the game changing, and I hope, as you saw here today, the necessary visibility that these solutions provide. All right, let's jump into an instance and just kind of look at some of these things live. And I know I see some hands raised and some questions. That's awesome. Get those questions in the Q&A. We'll get them answered. I will answer some of them live a little bit later on. All right, so let's start and just look at some of those currently available skills that we've already turned on inside of the process mining solution itself, right? Inside of the process mining workspace, we're just looking at a project that's focused on customer service cases in this scenario here. And I'm going to scroll down the summary and insights page and get to my improvement opportunities. And I'll see here that I've got an improvement opportunity that it's flagged rework on the CX Support Americas assignment group. I've got 121 records that met that, or cases that met that criteria. 218 years of total inefficiency packaged up in these rework loops. Some of our demo data is a little bit interesting here. But what I can do now is I can go over here to my opportunities details, which is going to give me a whole bunch of statistics and information about these 121 cases that went into the CX Support Americas group and ultimately returned to that group. And you'll see that there's a number of different ways to better understand this rework scenario that we have going on within this process, whether it be looking at the trends related to it, different breakdowns or slices of the data, the intakes channels, the categories, the different variants and routes that this work is taking. with so much data underneath the covers and so many insights available, like where do we even start? And this is where that highlights capability becomes really powerful. It's going to look at all the different data underneath this around this rework scenario and start to provide some summarized highlights of things that might be interesting to us. For example, it gives us this insight that the mean time to completion for these records is 21 months higher than those without this rework loop, right? And that high time to completion may be caused by the 3 weeks longer time spent in awaiting other processes, like awaiting info from the end user, awaiting updates from customers, or the 15 hours of longer idle time waiting for the work to start, indicating inefficiencies in process handling time and agent assignment. So, like right there up front, it gives us some things that we might want to consider digging into. So that's one, the highlights, really powerful, super cool. It's available in Zurich if you haven't started using it. If when you upgrade to Zurich, I would say let's get that thing activated and take a peek. Now, continuing on the journey, let's say we wanted to dig in and actually start to go further in our analysis and look at kind of the work that's bouncing between these two teams. I could come over here. I could use my standard breakdowns to slice and dice the data around this or this process data that's going through this rework loop. But it'd be really handy to actually get a sense of for these things that are going from CX Support Americas to Solana Tech to kind of dig in and use work notes analysis to maybe get some visibility into what agents are saying when they're transferring these cases, right? The notes that they're putting in. And this is where that work notes analysis and the summarization of those different clusters come in handy. And if I can come through here, again, we're working with demo data, but you can get a sense of like, look here, this assignment group changed due to the lack of necessary resources, training, and documentation for this Americas team. They can't resolve it because they don't have the skills or information they need. The issues that they didn't have the skills or documentation included things around Okta verifying resets, snug membership, email change requests, loyalty enrollments. So a really clear understanding of kind of where they were struggling at that one team before they transferred it to this other team. Right, makes it really easy to find opportunities to train, create knowledge articles, update knowledge articles, just improve the handling of work in the organization. And then if I really wanted to get to the records, I could drill down to them from here. Work notes analysis. Again, if you're not using it, I highly recommend you start. It's really powerful, as you can see. The next example that I want to call out for is that scenario where we're kind of automatically generating a playbook. So what I've got here is I've got a project focused on some hiring data that we ingested into ServiceNow from Smart Recruiters application. And what I can do is I can come over here and I can use my variants to look at all the different routes that work is taking to get to closure. And maybe I want to look at the most common routes that work are taking. And I can see here, all right, this looks like a lot of things are going interviewed, offer approved. And then here's one where the offer is pending and then it gets approved. While this is the one that most are taking, I think this is the process that I kind of want to be my standard moving forward. So let me just align it to that. I've got my steps, created, sourcing, interview, offer pending, approved in this variant. And then right over here on the right-hand side, I can create a playbook to streamline that or create the shell of that playbook for that process moving forward. We'll call this Academy. Oh, sorry, not search. I need to create a new one. Give it a name, say Academy. We'll attach a snapshot and we'll hit generate. That'll go out. It'll start the creation process, just a little bit of a cooking show approach here. I'll click on this one where I've done it already because that's going to take, I think we call it a high value skill. So it's going to take a minute or two to generate the playbook. But just so you can see, now I've got this playbook generated based off of the steps that were in that. And then I could start wiring this up to different knowledge articles, tasks, integrations, agentic steps of the process. So it just streamlines the process of reimagining or creating a more structured flow on the platform. So those are the three examples of how we've used AI to enhance or improve or augment the experience that somebody has while they're doing their process analysis. Now, let's look at some of those examples of kind of how we use process mining to support your overall AI initiatives. The first one we'll do is, well, let's come in and do that little 2 to 15 minute use case. Right? How do we find the tools that we want to give our AI agents? And what I can do is I'll come over here to my analyst workbench, and I'm going to use the transition filters in the lower left-hand corner to do this. So I'll click on transition filters. And then for those that are new to process mining, one of the beautiful things about the solution is that we can actually use the steps in the process to create scenarios or filter or isolate the data. So I can come in here and I can say, show me all the work that goes into the state of, let's say, in progress. And I only care about the first occurrence of that. And then is either directly or eventually followed by, depending on how you have your process and project set up. I'm going to leave directly followed by here. The state of resolved, and I only care about the last time it touches the resolved state. And then line this up to show me only the situations in which it's taking longer than 2, but less than maybe 15 or 30 minutes to move between these 2 steps of in progress and resolved. I'll say add constraint and hit apply. And now this is going to narrow it down to just the 756 incidents that met that criteria. And then I can go in here, I could use my breakdowns to maybe focus on just things that came in via self-service or portal, or maybe I want to come in here and do some additional investigation, like let's say, run some clustering or a work notes analysis on this subset of the data. And the clustering, then if I bring this up, I think I've already run this, so we'll just view this here. The clustering will start showing me things like, hey, look, I've got a bunch of VPN issues that I could potentially automate around. I've got some password resets or people just trying to update their email addresses in their profile. These are all things that we could solve with an integration, a catalog item, some sort of automation, and then those things become the tools that we give our AI agents moving forward. The nice thing about looking at the data this way, or I should say one of the additional benefits, I keep saying the nice thing, I hate when I do that. One of the additional benefits to looking at the data this way is we get the data we need to maybe build a little bit of a business case around why we might want to have an agent help us with this. What I can do is I can see here, like for these 756, there's 6 days of total work time there. But I can also then start to look at the idle time, right? So from new to in progress, there's 4 months. From new to assigned, another 4 months. From assigned to in progress, another 7 months. So I'm not good at math, but let's see, 15 months worth of time packaged up here waiting for the work to start for 6 days of actual work time. So if you think about it, one of the beautiful thing about automations, but AI agents down the road, is they don't have a backlog. They don't take coffee breaks. They don't go on vacation. When the work comes in, they just start doing it. So think about this 15 months of idle time. As we start to automate or create AI agents to help with the use cases that are available in this 6 days here, we start to remove that 15 minutes or 15 months, sorry, of idle time that's out there. So you can start to kind of see which scenarios have the most idle time associated with them, and that might become a data point for you as you can think about which AI use cases or tools to create first for your agents. All right, so that's one. Then as we start to deploy these agents or turn on Now Assist skills or make process changes, how do we understand the impact? Well, we can do this comparison. So what I can do here is I can come in and I can say, show me all the work that closed prior to us turning on a skill or an agent. I just know that in my demo data here, I think it's 2019 Halloween is where my data kind of lives around. So show me all the work that closed prior to us making that change, turning on that skill, activating the agent on this side. And then I'm going to hit compare, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, clear this filter on this side, show me all the work that closed after we made that change. Closed after that date. And we'll just say 2019, October 31st. And now I can get a sense of kind of what was the impact, right? So it looks like after we turned on that skill, that agent, that automation, or after that certain date, look, our closure times have went up by an average of 6 hours. not exactly what we expected. And in those situations, the good thing now is we have the visibility at a very granular level to see where we might be losing some time or where there might be any adverse effects to the process. Very powerful to do this side-by-side analysis, this before and this after. And as you just saw, pretty straightforward and easy to do. So that's understanding the impact. Now, this is next one here, understanding our little our AI agents. This is again something that's coming. We hope in December, or our plan is in December. But just like we're looking at how work is moving that people are doing, we can do the same thing now, looking at how our different agents are interacting. Right. So if you think about an agentic workflow, you've got the manager, the communicator, the different agents, and their different tools. Those can all be activities that we're going to be plotting on our maps. So we can start to see how the work is moving through the agentic workflows, the agentic process, which tools are being used and how long they're taking. So like, for example, remember that use case I talked about, fetching relevant knowledge articles? That's one of the tools that's out there that we could give our agents. I could use the histogram here to see if that was any looping there. I could create an improvement opportunity to look at kind of, hey, show me all the situations where there's a rework loop on fetching relevant knowledge articles. So there's lots of different things that we can start to see when we start visualizing how the agents are working together. And then we can use our breakdowns to focus in on specific agents, use cases, or tools. So maybe I just want to focus in on this resolution plan generation use case that I have out there and kind of get a sense of what those steps in the process look like. Is it getting stuck anywhere? Are there any rework loops that are going on? Could we tweak the prompts that we've put in the different agents that are interacting here? So really powerful way to start getting visibility into these agentic workflows that are out there. And then the last example here is just sitting process mining on top of the different workflows that come with the AI control tower. Again, it's just process data at that point, right? You've got the control tower. It comes with workflows to kind of manage how AI asset approvals are moving through. So this is an example of putting process mining on top of the AI asset approval workflow and seeing if there's any places in which things are getting stuck waiting from the assessment state to the build state, the build and test state to where we're deploying. Uh-oh, maybe we have to redeploy something. What happened there? We want to dig into those scenarios. So there's the asset approval workflow, and then you've also got your governance workflows as well through the GRC types of solutions that we could be visualizing. And just so you can see, if you're interested and you're already using the AI control tower, what we did here is if I edit this project, which table are we going after? We're going at the AI asset approval request table, and just what our parameters might look like. Approval request. We've got some key activities here of current task phase, state, and assignment group, the different breakdowns that we might want to apply. So going after that AI asset approval request table is one of the use cases that we've heard customers ask about and be interested in. All right, I think that's what I wanted to do in the instance. I did want to just I figured the instance I have doing the agents would time out, so I did want to show you what that will look like when we do deploy it. Just from it's a new data source, the agentic AI data that we're going to be adding. So those of you that are familiar with creating projects for process mining, you pick your table usually right up front. There are a number of different data sources that you could choose from, whether it be a report source, external data, archive data. You'll see that there's going to be a new agentic AI data source available to you. And just kind of you start adding activities from that source, like the manager, the communicator, the agents, the tools, and the Gen AI skills that are out there. So it's going to be the creation of these projects on top of your AI use cases is going to be just as straightforward as what you're currently doing today. You're just going to pick a different data source. Always like to talk about this at this point of the session. For those of you that are not familiar with this, you've seen process mining now. You're like, that's super awesome. Like, I'd love to try that with my own data. And the good news is we've actually activated process mining in your production level instance in a limited fashion already. We use something we call the process mining evaluation projects. So as of the Xanadu release, we activated a process mining evaluation project for incidents. which will allow you to mine the last 7 days of closed incidents up to 3,600 records. Just to give you a feel for what process mining might look like with your own data. And then when you go to Yokohama Patch 2, we added two additional evaluation projects, one for HR case and one for customer service case. Same boundaries, last 7 days of closed work, up to 3,600 records. Again, meant to give you a feel for what you could do. But interesting enough, there's a couple of use cases that we shared here today that you can do. Those evaluation projects have both state and assignment group activated inside of them. So if you remember the little 2 to 15, 2 to 30 minute use case that I did, you can actually use the evaluation project in your instance and try that use case today with the subset of data that we offered. You'll only be able to go down to the record level. We don't give you all the super awesome stuff like clustering and work notes analysis. We do want you to someday get entitlement to the solution. But again, meant to give you a feel for what you could do with the solution in your own instance with your own data. If you said, Dan, you know what, you weren't really all that interesting to listen to here today, so I wasn't really paying attention, or I fell asleep when you showed the 2 to 15 minutes use case, good news. On the ServiceNow community, we've recorded sessions or little snippets of how to do those things, like identifying tools for your AI agents, how to look for multi-hop situations, how to look for long idle times. Those recordings are out there on the community in these how to use evaluation projects posts and videos. And I will point out, I say this all the time, our team is happy to get on and walk through these evaluation projects with you. I typically joke now I'm kind of like that guy in Jurassic Park that owns the island. There's that scene where he's watching the baby raptors being born. He's like, I love to be there when the dinosaurs are born. I love to be there when you guys turn process mining on for the first time. It's super fun for me to see your reaction to seeing your reality for the first time. Some of the reactions that our customers have had are pretty interesting. So it's a great experience for us. So if you want to play on your own, these articles are there. If you want to kind of go through the exercise and explore your data together, we'd be happy to be part of that. Just work through your account team and we'll join a call together. Take an hour, super fun. It's a good experience. All right. Any questions, last questions you got? Get them into the Q&A now. Now's the time to get them in. But as you're getting those last questions into the Q&A, just some additional resources that are out there. There are some Now Learning training courses up there. One's called Fundamentals. I think the other one is like Implementation. I'll check in a second. The community forum, I'm assuming that's how you found this session here today, but there is a product hub for process and task mining now. We post pretty much anything and everything we know about process mining out there and task mining out there on the community forum. So it's a great resource. We keep that stuff fairly up to date. If this is your first exposure to process mining and you're like, I'd love to learn a lot more, well, there's a lot out there. We don't want you to have to watch it all. There's a great article called Guide to Getting Started, which acts as like a curriculum for those that are new to us. There's linked to a short little 2-minute explainer video that's good for sharing with people that have short attention spans in your organization. There's a full-blown demonstration recording that's like 5 to 10 minutes out there. There's a session focused on how to create your first project, and there's a session focused on how to use the analyst workbench, and then there's links to all the other materials that are out there. But it gives you kind of the first 4 that you should focus on if you're new to us. This is the Process Mining Academy, so you know about us now. Just so you do know, this is a monthly happening, and we do post the recordings. There's about 40 recordings out there now, deep dives into different areas like process mining for HR. Roz has got a great sales and order management session out there. There's a process mining for S2P session out there, how to work with knowledge content, how to work with the service catalog and process mining. So lots of good materials out there. We also do have something we call the use case series. And these use case series are 5-minute videos of the top types of analysis that people start with when they start going down the path of uses process mining. Really good way to kind of get inspired about what we potentially could do together. And then we also host a monthly office hours. It's next Thursday. It's usually the 4th Thursday of every month or the week after we do these academy sessions. More of an open forum. We don't really prepare anything. We just kind of come, hope you bring questions. and then talk about how we would solve for those things with process mining. For those of you that like accreditations, these are the two courses out there for process mining. They do also have accreditations. So after you take the course, you pass a test, get some sort of little patch or badge that you can do what you do with those things. So that's something that's available now. One of the things that's not linked to that page yet, but I should get it there, is we love working with all of you. We also love when you get excited about what you've done with process mining and tell your story. And Damien on our team just partnered with our friends from Blackhawk. They just recently did a session in which our friends from Blackhawk walked through their process mining experience, some of their initial findings, and some of the actions they've taken based on what they've seen with process mining. That recording is now out there on the community. So if you kind of go to the community and search up insights from Blackhawk, you'll find that recording. Super cool session. Love that it's out there. Some other cool sessions. The task mining team recently helped us out with the Process Mining Academy session. So if you're interested in learning more about task mining and seeing live demonstrations of how to configure task mining projects and dig into some of the insights, that session's out there on the Process Mining Academy page. Again, available from that guide to getting started that I just shared. Roz's session on the sales and order management, that recording's out there. We just did a What's New in Zurich session that's recorded and out there. We do have a process mining for source to pay session coming up. I think Damien is leading that on October 28th. So go to the community and register for that if you're interested in that topic. And then in the off chance that any of you are going to be joining us at the World Forum in New York City on the 30th, I do live here in New York, so I'm going to be hanging around that forum, meeting with some customers. I just wanted to point it out if you were attending that and wanted to get together, say hi, maybe grab a cocktail or a beverage afterwards. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn, work through your account team. I'd love to kind of meet up and put a face to a name. That would be super fun for me. We'll say adieu, goodbye, happy mining, everyone. We'll see you maybe in the office hours next week, but if not there, on a future Academy session, or maybe you'll take us up on exploring your process mining evaluation projects together. We get to spend some one-on-one time there together. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.